I am on a quest to ride 200 coasters in 1 year. So far, I've been to 5 parks, ridden 45 coasters, and today's adventure brings me to
Carowinds here in South Carolina / I think also part of it might be in North Carolina. We're right here on the border. I'm very excited about this park. I did not know that this park even existed until I started to embark on this particular journey, but it seems like they have a lot of really awesome roller coasters. I am excited to explore and report back my findings. Done with my first ride of the day on Nighthawk. This is my very first time doing a coaster where you are essentially riding laying down, and I didn't think it'd be that different from like your Supermans or the ones where you're kind of like facing the ground because you are in that position for a lot of this ride. But I gotta say, not a big fan of this format. I don't like that you're essentially riding backwards and you can't really see where you're going. Felt like also kind of a rough ride as well, so probably won't be riding this one again, but I am glad that I checked it out. I just rode Thunder Striker, that guy right there, and I had a blast on that ride. To me, Thunder Striker is the embodiment of the "it ain't much, but it's honest work" meme. There's no frills, there's barely any theming, it's not fancy, it's not reinventing the wheel as far as I can tell, it's not the fastest, it's not the tallest, but it gives you what you came here for, which is floater airtime. At least that's what I want. And this thing is a floater airtime generation machine. Airtime hill after airtime hill, float after float, in a relatively simple out and back layout. And if you are in the back row especially, you are just floating over every single hill, and it is just such a delight. And yes, there is a mid-course brake run, and no, I do not love that, but I still think that pound for pound, Thunder Striker provides a lot of fun. Seating wise, there is a tester seat for this one. I did use it. It tells you that you need to get a green light to light up. I could not get that green light to light up, but then I got out and I got it one more click beyond what it was when I was sitting there, and the green light did come on, so I thought, let me take a chance, let me see if I can get in there, and sure enough, I was able to fit. The ride attendant did have to give me a little extra, but we clicked in there, and it was a great time. I also really enjoy the seating layout of this train. Each car is 2x2, but they're staggered, so the second row is not directly behind the front row. So that means everyone gets as close to an unobstructed view as one could possibly get without being in the actual front of the entire train. So hot and sweaty right now, partially because I just rode Afterburn. It's my first time on this ride, I have to say. Super smooth ride. I was not expecting that. This might honestly be the smoothest coaster that I've been on since I started this whole challenge to ride 100 brand new coasters within 1 year. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Definitely it's gonna be kind of the middle of the pack for me. I do really enjoy these types of coasters where your feet are just kind of dangling like that. They did a lot of really fun stuff with it. I love the corkscrews. You know, I'm not a big fan of the loop-de-loops, but they felt real nice on this one. As far as seating goes, there is no tester seat for this one. So I decided to take a gamble since I typically do fit on these types of rides, especially if they have the big guy seats with the double belt buckles. I asked the ride attendant when I got up to the top, hey, you got any big guy seats? He said, sure, jump on row 5. So I was totally in the clear there. And I was trying to look to see if any of those other double buckle seats were anywhere. I did see at least one more in there. So if you're worried about the lack of tester seat, I say go and give it a shot. Ask for the big guy seat. Just rode Copperhead Strike for the first time, and man, what a surprise. I absolutely love this ride. From far away, the entire track just looks like this nasty, gnarled mess of like rusty pipes. And then in order to get to the front of the queue, you actually have to walk through and under all of that. So it is just bending and contorting and twisting all around you. Occasionally you have, of course, the trains flying by that adds its own level of thrill. And you walk in, and this is one of the rides where they've done the most amount of theming in the queue. And the combination of that theming with the fact that you are going through most of the lineup, walking under it as you walk in, really builds up an intense sense of anticipation as you make your way to the train platform. What I find interesting about this ride is that it does have 2 launches, but they are categorically very weak. They do not offer the thrill of a 0 to 80 or something like that you'd find on, you know, some more acclaimed launch coasters. And yet, I also just adore how slow some of these inversions are. It's giving you like just enough speed so that you can make it through these inversions while just sort of dangling. You are just hanging there. And even with the weak launches, this thing is extremely whippy in certain points. Like, you have to be a very active rider to have the most comfortable ride, especially towards the end. It truly lives up to its name. It is snaking around and striking you left and right. One thing that I absolutely love about this ride is this extremely slow inversion right out of the station. They absolutely did not need to do anything. I think no one's ever expecting some really cool element right out of a station. So the fact that they did do that, they're like, oh, we got 40 feet of track where nothing fun is happening. Let's just slowly roll people, shake them down for their lunch money. Every single time I've been on this ride, that moment gets such a big reaction out of people. Everybody screams. It took me completely by surprise the very first time that I did it, and now I just wait in giddy anticipation for those who have never been on this thing to react on it every time I ride. So good. Overall, this is an extremely smooth ride, and I feel like it really fills out the lineup of this park. It's filling a gap that no other coaster here is. It is thrilling, yet at the same time feels just a notch above family friendly, and this is one that I can ride infinitely over and over again. I never get sick of it. It's always, always a fun time. first ride on Carolina Gold Rusher, and I have to say it was a perfectly cromulent time. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's a nice, easy, breezy ride. Not the most comfortable seat, especially for the big guys. Pro tip, cross those legs. And the air traffic controller telling people where to sit, he said, go ahead and sit in row 9. That one's got a little bit more leg room for you. I noticed you have large legs, so thanks for looking out for me, guy. I fit with no problems. And as far as wooden roller coasters go, it's about what I expect. A little bit of a rough ride, but this is just kind of a nice, easy cruise. Good for the family, perfectly enjoyable, extremely slow turnover time at the actual platform, so wouldn't be a top priority, but if I happened to walk by and saw there was no line, I would jump right in there with no hesitation. The station itself is covered and offered a little bit of a nice breeze, so it was kind of a nice respite from the horrific heat they were dealing with as well. So Carolina Gold Rusher, you're all right. Is this called Carolina Surfer or something? What the hell is this ride called? Carolina Twister, I think. Whatever this ride was, not the biggest fan of it. Not that there's anything wrong with this ride, but it was pretty rough. It's a pretty rough ride. First drop, not a lot of air time, and then those loop-de-loops had some gnarly kickback. You know, normally they say for the loops you should really make sure you're pressing your head into the back of your seat, and that was a mistake here because both times it like really just like a shotgun to the back of the head. Not a fun time. Once the ride came to a stop, the people that were sitting behind me were also complaining that they now have headaches and they feel like they got beat up, so definitely not a smooth ride, not one that I really feel like I need to do again, which is sad because it looked like a fun ride, and as far as sitting on this, no problem whatsoever. You do have to do crisscross applesauce, but that's not a problem for me. So I have to say, I've ridden a bunch of coasters here so far. I have a couple more that I do need to get to. But so far, I had really high expectations for Carowinds, and it hasn't quite delivered what I'm looking for. You know, when I'm going for coasters, what I live for is that big first drop. I love getting that sort of zero gravity feel. I want to get some air time. I want to be pulled out of my seat. And very few rides have given me that thus far. Now, I have not hit Ferry 325 yet, so I, fingers crossed for that one. But I'm kind of shocked because a lot of these coasters look like they would provide that, but for whatever reason, it's not getting the thrills that I want here. And yet, we persist. Well, that did the trick. I don't care how many of these things I do. It's always terrifying, and I love that. Definitely the best drop of the day. I guess no surprise since it is the drop tower. It had one job, and it nailed it. All right, let's get back to some coasters. Well, I was in the front seat of Hurler, seatbelt locked, lap bar thingy down, ready to go. Everyone was given the thumbs up, and then they said, hey, there's going to be a slight weather delay. So we need everyone to get back into the queues. And so we did. And then, of course, it dawned on us slowly. There's no such thing as a slight weather delay, a brief weather delay. Everyone's checking the weather apps and seeing it's supposed to rain until 5 o'clock. Now, the rain has not come, but I get that they got to be cautious. So this seems like a good time to go grab some food.
Are you ready?
We are back in business, but let me tell you, the real walk of shame is the walk that you do upon trying to enter the park a second time, even though you've already been here for 7 hours. And you think, oh yeah, I have tons of energy to come and be here for 5 more hours. No, I do not. But will I still do it? Of course I will, because there are coasters to ride, but thankfully, still got the fast lane. So let's go see what kind of damage we can do. I was hoping that all the rain would kind of scare away a couple people that were planning to stay all day. Now they're like, let's just peace out and head home. Still looks pretty full, so I don't think that is actually gonna be the case, but we shall see. Okay, I just rode Vortex and beat the hell out of me. I don't think anyone was having a good time on that one. The person next to me, complete stranger, of course we were screaming together, ended and said, ask me how much I hated that. And I said, how much did you hate that? And they said, I hated it. So yeah, beat the hell out of me, just head back and forth. Not a good combo when you got the glasses there. This person next to me had all sorts of piercings up and down their ears, so I can't imagine that was particularly pleasant. Probably feeling like a pincushion. Another one of those rides where you are supposed to sort of be standing up, but you're also kind of on an uncomfortable bicycle seat. So I was skeptical of that format, but it worked out so well for the Riddler ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and I was looking forward to doing it again here. But yeah, the ride is like just too short to offer any like real thrills, and so it's just not really worth the punishment that you have to put your head and groin through in order to ride it. I don't think I'll be riding that one again, but hey, check that off the list. Another credit in the books. All right, it's starting to look a little dark and stormy again, so I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. I am headed straight to Fury 325. That is the one coaster of all the coasters here that I absolutely do not wanna miss. It is apparently the tallest and fastest coaster here. I have heard a lot of people say that this ride has made them black out or gray out. Now, me personally, I have never blacked out or grayed out on a ride before. I don't know if I have a particular constitution or I just haven't found the ride to break me yet, but if anyone's gonna do it here, it's gonna be Fury 325, so let's see how it goes. That gets a resounding hell yeah. That is exactly what I'm looking for. That's what I want. That is why I am doing this challenge, is to get the feelings like I got on Fury 325. Oh man, it was so nice. I had to ride it thrice. Got the back seat on that very last one, and it was like raining harder and harder each time. So on that final ride, just getting like pelted in the face with rain. But it was incredible. Every ride I was on, everyone was cheering and screaming and having the best time.
I mean, that first drop, I have never experienced anything like this on this journey thus far. If you are in the back row, you are legitimately out of your seat in free fall for a good like 3 to 4 seconds.
And right when you feel like you're about to hit the ground, the coaster just sort of gently scoops you up as if to say, I got you, little buddy. From there, you engage in a series of, they're almost like low profile airtime hills, but they're snaking back and forth, a little bit of a banked turn, and they're very low to the ground. So if you're in the back, you do get some airtime there. But this section is almost more about the speed and just showing you exactly how fast you're going. You just feel it so much because you're just so low to the ground. If you're in the front seat on this ride, the wind in your face is extremely intense for the entire time that you're on it. Thankfully, I have glasses to mitigate it a little bit, but people that have been next to me that aren't wearing glasses, their faces are just like being melted off in the best possible way. And this is an out and back layout, and when you reach the end of it, there is a turnaround unlike one that I have ever experienced before. You sort of go up and then turn sideways in a way that feels pretty unnatural. And the first time I did that turnaround, like, scared's not quite the right word, but it's almost like an awkward body positioning, and you just don't quite feel like you should be putting your arms up, like you should be kind of holding yourself because you're kind of falling off to the side there. But by the second or third time I did it,
I have my arms up and I feel like I'm like soaring like a bird as I go and take that dive down. And then you go through this tunnel, which goes under the walkway to the main entrance, which of course has its own little bit of thrill. At night, there are these green lights in the tunnel, some visual flair. And then guess what? A couple more airtime hills after that. And every single time you hit one of those airtime hills, you are like doubling over in your seat once you hit the apex of that hill as you're waiting for the rest of the train to catch up with you. But like in a fun way, not in a painful or torturous kind of way. It's just a way that makes you marvel at the physics the human body can be put through, I think. It's just nonstop all the way to the final brake run. Phenomenal ride.
Number one coaster of this park. Definitely a contender for top 5 of all time for me so far. Amazing. Fury 325. Oh my God, I can't even talk. Fury 325. Hurler, I barely knew her. No. Hurler, more like rib breaker. That was a rough ride. It's kind of neither here nor there. Like, if it's a little bit more chill, it could fill that place where like, oh, you need something that's a little more relaxed to ride right now. It could be that, but it's not chill enough and it's not thrilling enough. It sort of just sits in this no man's land that's not particularly interesting. And on top of that, it beats you the hell up. Granted, I did sit in the back row, so we know how that goes. It's to be expected, but yeah, I can't say that I would be eager to ride Hurler again. No bueno. Just rode Flying Cobra. It's the one where you go up and it drops you, and then you do this full rotation, you come back up the other side, and then you do the whole thing in reverse. I was actually expecting to kind of hate that ride because I don't really like riding in reverse, but maybe it was just short enough that it worked for me. But I actually really love that, and I think it's a bummer that the turnover on this ride is so slow because even the fast lane, you're like waiting for a very long time. So Flying Cobra gets the seal of approval, surprisingly. It was like trippy going in reverse, doing the thing that you just did. It's really hard to explain, but oh man, it was a thrill. It was a thrill. Unexpected thrill for me. I dig it. Squeezed in 2 more rides on Thunder Striker, whatever that one is. Got that nice double dip, end of the ride, last ride, let you go again. Worked out quite nicely. Did squeeze in a ride on Kitty Hawk, did not get footage of that, but it's a totally fine family ride. I enjoyed it. It was a nice little cruise through the evening. Those final 2 rides on Thunder Striker were so good though. Everything just sort of lined up perfectly with the direction of that first lift hill. As you're going up, you're looking directly at the moon. You got the red lights of the lift hill, and then the clouds just parted right as we were cresting over the top of that lift hill. It was a beautiful ride, and I really love that coaster. It's probably gonna be second favorite in the park.
I was only able to collect 11 of the 15 possible credits at Carowinds, but discovering a fantastic park that is only a few hours away from home feels like a victory to me. The next stop on my quest to ride 200 coasters in 1 year is going to be none other than Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. If you want to see what I thought of the park and how many coasters I could ride, be sure to check out this video right here.